saying out loud. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's episode. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are again. We'd normally come in hot on a Monday, but sometimes I gotta give it to you the slow way. Make love to you, yeah. I ain't talking just about women, men too, and non-binary folk. Gonna feel that poke when I giving it to you slow on a Monday, in a fun way. Could be gay, but hey, don't be homophobic, bro. It's 2021. Let's just have some fun. Ladies and gentlemen, get that shit off. Don't put that beat back on. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, round two. Something I usually promise, but once I get in that position, I'm like, I'm tired. Let's just chill for a little while. Matter of fact, I'll order some Uber Eats and see if that sparks something. Shit, we got Chipotle, I'm done for the night. No round two after a burrito bowl. Ooh. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize. Listen, I don't fucking apologize, just hitting you with the hits, okay? Coming in slow on a Monday. Still hot. Still super sexual, all right? Coming in nice and warm. But instead of being hot, it's just a candle melting on you right now. Melting on your earlobes. That's me in there. Melting on your earlobes. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Monday. It's your first time to the podcast. Welcome. Okay, you got in on a special one when your boy was getting sexy with it. Okay, listen. Sometimes the muse just hits me, and I just got to go with it, all right? Sometimes you're feeling froggy. You just got to leap, baby. You just got to leap. You know what's funny? When I was a kid, I first heard that term, if you're feeling froggy, leap, in a real world situation. A lot of people say it now as a joke. If you're feeling froggy, leap. And that's how I've known it since then. But I was camping at a campground, groundbreaking. And across the way, some dude was drunk in his trailer, white, you know, I feel like you pictured that. And he started arguing with someone that represents the campground. And I remember him getting in his face and be like, hey, buddy, if you feeling froggy, leap. Come on, froggy, jump. Jump, froggy. And kept getting in his face. And the dude was just standing there with his hands on his hips. And he was just like, I can't. In all my goddamn years here, someone's actually telling me, if you're feeling froggy, leap. I use that term once every 2 days for the next 5 years as a kid. I would just say it to people at a cashier, you know, and they'd be like, okay, and it's your snickerdoodles is $3.72. And I'm like, okay, if you're feeling froggy, leap. But I'm gonna go ahead and pay this real quick. And they'd be like, excuse me, what was that? Nothing. Just keep it moving, pimping, you know? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Monday. A lot of crazy shit has been going on over the weekend. Let's get this serious stuff out of the way first. Holy shit, you know? Afghanistan. The Taliban. What is it, 2004 all over again? What's going on? We just hit a time machine? I was trying to think of some artist that was popping back then. It's like, is Soulja Boy gonna actually drop a hit? Bars. Get at me, Soulja Boy. Those are shots fired. The Taliban. Isn't it crazy? Like, I feel nostalgic with the name Taliban, and not in a good way. It's like, holy shit, the Taliban are still out there, just lurking in the darkness. And that's something we've known about, that they were just waiting. It's a weird thing, you know, the idea of what America does. And you got the industrial and the military complex. I think that's what it's called. Way to sound really stupid. What's it called? Military, industrial. I love when I'm typing with one hand. Yeah, the military industrial complex. It's this huge thing. I'm sure you know about it. You guys went to school, not me. But basically, that war is business, and you can make a lot of money during war. All right? You just keep printing that money, and it is profitable for the people high up. You look at all the shit with Dick Cheney and everything that went on during the Iraq War, and you're just like, holy shit. Holy shit. Just so much corruption, so many contracts were given out to his company and companies that he was in bed with, giggity. And it's just a crazy thing. It's a crazy thing that happened. So it's like, was the reason that we were in Afghanistan for the right reasons and everything like that. I'm not smart enough, 100%. If you're really trying to figure out if all this war stuff and what's going on in the Middle East, don't come to me for it, okay? I got dick jokes. I got sultry songs on a Monday. Ladies and gentlemen, don't come to me for advice on military stuff. All right? That was my disclaimer. But it's nuts. It's nuts to see. And what makes it, like, this is the thing that I take away from it. Obviously, pulling out troops, it's like, was it a war we were ever supposed to be in? Everything like that. Basically, everything you'll hear at a water cooler. I bring the conversation to a level of what you'll hear at like a Buffalo Wild Wings. Be like, we never should have been there. 9/11 was an inside job. But it was like, you see the Taliban is a real thing, real terrorist groups. You go listen to someone like Tim Kennedy, who outlines greatly the differences in presidents and what happens when you have a president that understands safety and prioritizes that. And then you have a president who, during the Obama administration, cut back a lot on funding to the military. When you hear someone like Tim Kennedy, who is, a vet, I believe he was a Green Beret, Black Ops, just complete what you want a patriot to be, what every American man should stand up to be, great family man, honor, all of that. The kind of guy that does good stuff when no one's watching. That's the kind of guy you want to be, and But to hear someone who's actually in it, in the military, and seeing the cause and effect of certain styles of politics, break down the importance of a strong military and funding for the military. And he was talking about how the Taliban was coming back, and it was just waiting it out. And with knowing this was about to happen, they were going to start pulling troops out. The Taliban was just ready. And this is what's crazy, because it's kind of like one of those situations where, like, well, it's U.S. supposed to be there forever, have our troops there. What are we supposed to do? How do we wipe out the Taliban completely? And it's obviously, I don't get paid to figure that shit out. Okay, your boy wasn't in the military. Okay, did get creeped out by recruiters in high school that would call me and try to convince me to, and I'd be like, nah, I'm good, man, I'm good. But I love the military. I love the people that were willing to sacrifice everything just so I can do stuff like this. It's insanity. It's insanity. And you see, I want to talk about this one thing. You see in Afghanistan right now, you see the civilians trying to cling to American choppers, American planes, trying to leave the country. Fleeing, because that's how terrified they are of the Taliban. Taliban hanging people in the streets, cutting women down with machetes, completely changing, just like taking away freedom. That's insane. And what I get from it is how beautiful the idea of America is. How ridiculous it is sometimes, the woke culture of how soft and how easy life has got for us in America, to the kind of shit that we decide to complain about. It's like, I really do believe humans have it inherently in us to need to struggle. We need to find something wrong. Like, we will just turn into a goddamn marshmallow if we don't have a struggle. It's our brain. It's like, hey, you ever had everything going good and you're like, well, what can I fuck up today? I think that's what a little bit is in our core, that we've struggled for so long as a species, that when we reach a point like America, where it's like we have so much freedom, we have technology, we need to find shit to be upset about. which is why the increase in technology and safety and stuff like that is a complete increase, parallel going up for stuff like depression and anxiety. Like, they're definitely connected. And when you see stuff like this, I hope, it's not a silver lining, because you don't want to see people, innocent people who just happen to be born there. That's the thing about Afghans and people who are born into these parts of the world. They didn't choose that. Every single person born in America, just fucking luck. Just luck. Pure luck. We didn't do anything special to be born here. Yeah, my grandpa, Abuelito from Puerto Rico, had a vision living in the mountains of Puerto Rico that he wanted to make a better life for his kids. He moved to New York, worked the sugarcane fields, got sick, would have to go back, kept sending money back to Puerto Rico, then finally made it over. My little papi, okay, little jibarito coming down from the mountain. Dad was born in a house with dirt floors, but his father had the vision of creating a better life for his family. And then my dad, growing up in New York, during the time that it was, you had a harder chance of surviving in Brooklyn than you did in the Vietnam War. That's how dangerous Brooklyn was at that time. And then my dad even had the foresight, the vision to be like, you know what? I'm going to California. I'm venturing off, and I'm going to build a different life for my kids. And then I come along, and I'm disconnected from a struggle like that. I'm disconnected. Yeah, we had our own problems. We didn't grow up with money and all of that shit. Grew up in an area of crime and all of that. But compared to generations before, that is nothing. We didn't have to deal with the struggle, the crazy level of poverty, being in a different country, having to work sugarcane fields. But here's the beautiful thing, and this is why I think it's terrible when people try to erase our past. People want to cancel things rather than have them be a reminder. I appreciate so much because I try to look back on history. I try to see my lineage with my own family. I try to compare it. Sometimes it's easy as you get older to fucking blame your parents for struggle. Blame your parents for things that you didn't have that you think other kids have. But then you look at what your parents had growing up and you're like, you did phenomenal compared to what you got, You didn't have what I had growing up because you at least tried. You did the best you could. And then you would look at what they had to deal with growing up as kids and you're like, man, it's progress. And the big key in that is just appreciating what you have. And I think that's where people get silly with cancel culture and so much woke bullshit and so much talking shit about America. It really, I have such an appreciation for America because if you look at what's going around the world, this is the greatest country on the planet, hands down. The idea of what America is supposed to be. Do we have corruption? We have shitty politicians. We have shitty things happen. Yeah. But life's all about perspective, baby. You look at what's going on in the fucking world and you're just like, shit could be a lot worse. All right? And I think that's the key with everything. Happiness with everything. That's why I love living in Texas because shit. A beautiful sunshine day is wonderful because sometimes when it's raining here, it's storming and everything. I love it. Gives you the contrast in weather. Live in California, it's like, oh yeah, we have beautiful weather all the time. I mean, a certain part of the year, the entire place is on fire, but it's beautiful weather, All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's switch gears. I just want to acknowledge that this crazy shit going on in Afghanistan, and it's sad to see for the citizens. It's sad to see for the troops, everybody who's been there, and to be pulling out and to just feel like fuck. But, I appreciate so much of the military and the perspective of how great America is supposed to be. And listen, ladies and gentlemen, do not tie me to that I just said, make America great again. I just said how great America is and the idea of what America is and to appreciate what we have here. Okay? Maybe America isn't that bad. I love you guys. Moving on. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, It's not all gonna be sad and serious talking about Afghanistan. 'Cause one thing we did, we freed Britney, y'all. We freed Britney, y'all. But I don't know what that means. Ladies and gentlemen, we did it. We did it as a species, as human beings. I believe we freed Britney. It was said that Britney is going to, her father is going to stand down from his role as her evil grandmother, because this seems like we're living in a fairy tale. Do I think it's a good thing? Yeah. I feel like a conservatorship is a weird fucking thing, and I feel like if she didn't have any money and he wasn't making money from it, what is he gonna do? Is he gonna go? What does he have experience in besides managing his daughter since she was a kid, eating off her? You know, what is he gonna go to Sport Chalet, sell golf clubs and shit? No, he doesn't want that. He wants to keep owning her estate and just living off of it, hitting the golf course, being the guy on the other side of the aisle at Sport Chalet. You know, it's a weird thing. But Britney's free. Allegedly. I've been seeing mixed things, because then the dad was saying, I ain't fucking leaving. He pulled a Wolf of Wall Street and he was like, I ain't fucking leaving. All right. You got to go, sir. No one wants you here. I feel like it's ridiculous. And the fact that it's taken this long, it's such a weird control thing. This conservatorship. It's a hard word to say for me. All right. I feel like all you got to do, we need the facts. Because all this bitch did, and I say bitch with all due respect to Britney. She's a badass bitch, okay? Don't cancel me. She shaved her head when she had an emotional breakdown, when she was in the middle of a divorce, which has got to be crazy with kids. And then she tried to break a car window? That is nothing compared to the weird shit that happens now. For today's standards, that is mild. Look at Demi Lovato. You want to talk about a cry for help? Themi? She just got a fucking, she shut down some frozen yogurt restaurant because they put something about guilt-free ice cream on the wall in their ads. Hey, guilt-free. Do you know, and she said that was offensive to people who are recovering from eating disorders. Get the fuck out of here, Demi Lovato. You heard it here first. Bars. Shots fired. You can catch these things too, Demi. All right? It's a meltdown. That's what that is. A meltdown of sugar-free ice cream for Demi Lovato. I think it's a weird thing that Britney was still under this conservatorship, but Demi Lovato's over here taking out small businesses one scoop at a time. Okay? It's a crazy world we live in, kids. Crazy world. But I wonder how, I wonder how Britney is feeling. And dude, we can't pretend her Instagram videos aren't weird as fuck. When Britney starts talking on them and she's like, okay, so people ask me what my favorite food is. It's Cocoa Puffs. My favorite food is Cocoa Puffs. I eat 3 bowls a day, and this is my favorite dance move. Woo! Okay, thanks, guys. Any more questions, just leave it in the link below. And I'm wearing this yellow shirt right now because it's my favorite shirt. It has a little yellow flower and it makes me happy. Woo! We've all seen the Britney videos. How stable is Britney really? And that's what I'm getting at is all we need to do is evaluate her. Just have a board of doctors. People, it sounds pretty medieval to have board of doctors. Just group of specialists, professionals in this particular area. Can she raise her kids? Is she a menace to society? Is she going to endanger her kids? If she can pass the psych test, let her go. We're talking about that. This is how fucked up the court system is. And this is like a bigger issue when you look at people who can't post bond or bail and everything like that. She couldn't even appeal the conservatorship because we have a process. It has to go through this. Gotta cut all that bullshit out. We gotta go, okay, look, we're not gonna have to wait 6 months for you to appeal this. Just go get an evaluation. As soon as you can pass the evaluation, you're good to go. You know? It's just crazy. Crazy. I do think that the way she talks is a lot like a little kid, because I feel like when kids become famous, like Britney Spears in the Mickey Mouse Club or whatever it was, I feel like you get locked into that mindset. Like wherever you were, you get locked in time to whatever got you that insane amount of attention. Because that's what fame is at the end of the day, is gratification, dopamine release of attention, an unhealthy amount. So I feel like no matter what, once you hit that level, you fucking fry your system. The level for attention, you're not supposed to be able to get that famous. Britney Spears? No, you shouldn't be able to get that famous. I don't think you can even reach the level of fame. Now, with the internet, I feel like there's so much attention going in every single different way that you can't even fever pitch that level of attention that she got. I'm sure there's a few outliers, but overall it feels like, and it's probably a good thing, is that the internet is niching down. All right, it's getting you into you get in where you fit in. Okay, you wiggling and giggling. But I feel like that just fucks up your psyche so much to where it's like, is there really any children stars that just came out of that shit normal? Is there one? There's maybe a couple that just like probably had to do so much fucking mushrooms and spiritual work, just sleeping with crystals every night, trying to balance the chakra out, you know? But not Britney. I feel like it just locked her in the way she talks and everything. Man. I always think what's fucked up, the craziest part about like child stars and everything, sometimes I see it on the TV and I'm like, that's a great child actor. And then you feel bad because you're like, they're probably going to have a long career. But the ones I feel bad for, and I've talked about this before, the baby on The Walking Dead. I watched that baby when zombies are like coming after it and they're like running away with the baby in the arm. Take a look at the baby's face. The baby in The Walking Dead does not know it's a show. Okay? They got Michonne to the left slicing a zombie's head off, and the baby's just looking around. It's just like, even if the baby somehow cognitively digested that she was on a movie set, she's like, fucking zombies broke on here. And now the apocalypse is upon us. That's what the baby's thinking. Do you know how many years of therapy they're going to have to pay for that baby? Think about it. Think about all this shit. This is what keeps me up at night. The baby from The Walking Dead. Who's paying for that therapy? Good times, ladies and gentlemen. Had a great weekend. Great show. Great show this weekend. Performed at a CBD spot. Elevated Wellness in Austin. Shout out. Great establishment. Listen, sometimes when you go into a new venue or a new location, obviously, best place to do stand-up comedy, comedy club. Comedy club or a theater. Best places because they're set up for it. Acoustically, you usually have a sound guy who's just on it. Everything's dialed in. The crowd knows they know what they're there for. Kind of an unspoken thing. The setup, they know they don't talk. Even better is in a place that doesn't have phones. If you can put them in a phone bag, those are phenomenal. It's becoming a norm here in Austin where people have to put their phones in bags at these bigger venues, and it's phenomenal. It's great. It's great because you can't fuck with the comic. If a comic is saying a joke or something funny and they're pushing the envelope, you can't record it and get that set out. But also, I think that's the main reason why they do it, the phone bags, is to make sure comics can't get canceled over jokes that aren't worked out yet. And the side effect of it is that people pay attention so much more. They don't have something vibrating in their phone. They're not pulling on a phone and being distracting to the people around them. They're not being distracting to the comedian. And what it does is it locks you in completely. Because the last thing you want is a club not fully paying attention. People on their phone, people distracted. The That's what sucks if you go to do a spot and it's like a restaurant where people didn't know they were about to see comedy. Not everybody's there for it. And you start performing and they're trying to have fucking family dinners and they're laughing during the punchline at something else. And you're just like, oh, this is great. So anything you can do to be razor focused. And this brings me to my point of me verbally vomiting all those details, is that when you go to a new place you're performing for the first time and it's not a traditional setup like a comedy club or theater, you're like, let's see what this is going to be. I always have the side of me that's like, this is going to go great. You know, I'm overly optimistic. And sometimes, does my heart break? Yeah, it does. Sometimes you walk in and you're like, oh, this is about to be a real shit show. But shout out to everybody who is involved in this weekend's productions. Shout out to Shannon Sims, Paul Miller Jr. Those were producers of it. And Elevated Wellness in general, because it was a dope venue. It made me feel like I was doing a comedy club or show at like an art gallery. Everybody was chill, great setup, great vibes. It's a vibe at the end of the day. And it was great acoustics. And there's nothing like some good old-fashioned CBD. Ladies and gentlemen, I need to tell you this because a lot of people think I'm just talking about CBD. Believe me when I tell you the CBD here is built different. It's not some regular CBD. They're sneaking some weird Texas CBD into it because it's got traces of the devil's lettuce. All right. That Delta 8, it just be hitting different. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. First time I smoked CBD in Texas. Thought it was just gonna make my joints feel good. But your boy, I got high, so high, ate an ice cream bars. Ladies and gentlemen, listen, we got new sounds, and I'm just enjoying it, okay? We're going to end on this topic. Is there anybody in our pop culture more ridiculous than O.J. Simpson? Honestly, we could be living in a simulation. Because when you really stop and think about O.J. Simpson, it's just we're so distracted with the rest of the world that we never have enough time to really stop and go, we should look into all this O.J. Simpson shit again. Because if you've ever seen the documentary on O.J. That they did on Netflix with Cuba Gooding Jr., shout out to Cuba Gooding Jr., acts his dick off. The man is insane. Phenomenal. A Few Good Men. I think that's what it was. Whichever one that he was the diver. Anyway, I don't think it was A Few Good Men. But anyway, OJ fucking did it. OJ did it 100%. Why are we all joking and lying? Like, or, you know, does anybody really think he didn't do it? Obviously the jury, but it's like, we all know OJ Simpson killed Hillary and got away with it. Or no, not Hillary. Was it Hillary? Nicole, right? Hillary. Where'd I get Hillary from? I think it was Nicole. Yeah, it was Nicole. Was there a Hillary? Did he kill multiple women? He killed multiple women, right? He had to have. But isn't it crazy that he made a book about, if I would have done it, here's how I did it. Like he's profiting off of all of this and he can't get away from it. And then what's crazy is I saw he put out an article. This came out in August 10th, 2021. Recently, he said, O.J. Simpson says he's worried he'll run into the real killer if he goes to L.A. What? You gonna run into the real killer out there, O.J.? Is that what you're saying? What, are you gonna see a mirror? Is it gonna be one of those things where it's like emotionally you go back to your high school reunion and you feel like how you were in high school again, so it like makes you uncomfortable? Is that what's gonna happen, OJ? You're like, I'm gonna go to LA and let me just say I'm gonna run into the killer because, you know, I'm gonna murder someone else is what I'm trying to say. Flashbacks. He also said this video came out. It's mind-boggling. He says, man, he's hilarious. He puts out these weird videos. Remember when he first got on Twitter? Hello, Twitter world. The juice is loose on Twitter. All right, I'm looking forward to talking to you guys. Like we all just know him as a football player. Come on, OJ. He put out this video where he's playing golf, and he's like, man, if we go back into lockdown, they're going to have to open up an asylum for me. Get me a bed in there because I'm going to go crazy. OJ Simpson just threatened the government that if we lock down again, he's going to murder another person. That's his way of being like, all right, well, if y'all decide to lock down again, I'm killing bitches again. All right, have a good Sunday, y'all. OJ's just over here gaslighting us, you know? Just like emotionally manipulating us, being like, did he just say what I think he said? He's like, no, man, I'm just talking, go crazy. I'm like, you know? OJ, you so crazy. The juice is loose. The juice is loose. I don't know if we're going to go back into lockdown. Let's be honest. Isn't it crazy that we're still dealing with this shit? And I'm tired of the vaccinated, unvaccinated conversation. Oh, probably just got this podcast flagged. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. Now there's talks of the Lambda variant, the vaccine doesn't work on it. Okay. It's kind of been what I've been hinting at this whole time, that, vaccinated have to wear masks again and everything. This is an interesting way to say vaccines don't work, that these vaccines don't work. I don't even know if we'll end on this. I'm sorry, guys. We're not going to end on OJ. The whole thing with the vaccine thing, I'm fine if people want to get vaccines. But it's people that push it so much to the point of like, we're not going to acknowledge, because everybody's saying all these healthcare workers are pushing it. Listen to the doctors. Listen to the ones that have studied this all their lives. These are also the same people who are profiting every single time. Like they won't even acknowledge that there might be an ulterior motive behind it all. And it's just like the blind allegiance to certain things because it's cool. I don't know if I talked about this before, but in this book I'm reading right now, Atomic Habits, love it. If you're looking for a great book to help you with your habits and get better routines, read it. It's my second time through. But there's this study in it, and it's fascinating, and it reminded me of I almost said the apocalypse, the pandemic. They do this controlled study where they write 3 lines on a piece of paper. They have like 40 people, and you have to pick which line is the longest. And they have one person who isn't in on it. All 39 other people in the study are in on it. And on the first one, they all pick the right line, the one that's clearly longer than all of them. And then they go around the table all giving the right answer. And then on the second time around, 3 lines again. They have the one person not in on it. They pick the right line. There's one that's obviously longer. But then this time, all 39 people are on purpose picking the wrong line. And they watch as everybody's going around saying the wrong line out loud. The person who picked the right line and doesn't know everybody else is in on it is panicking and looking around like, what? Everybody's getting the wrong answer? And then when it came their time to say their answer, they picked the wrong line. Because we have this weird tribalism thing where we don't want to go against what the tribe is saying. We kind of fall in line. And it's just fascinating to think about how people operate like that. But ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this episode. We came in sexy for you on a Monday. So sexy. Got a little too serious with the Afghanistan talk, but God bless America. God bless Britney. And I guess bless OJ. So don't come fuck with me. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't liked the podcast, like it. And I mean like it on YouTube. Subscribe wherever you listen to this podcast. Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music. Yeah, we all over, baby. Chill. International. Tell a friend about it. And if you don't want to, that's fine too. Let's be our little secret. Be our little secret. I will see you guys Wednesday. Remember not. Yeah. The faint change your from and the perfume. Yep. had a stroke. Remember, I love you. And I'll see you Wednesday.